Welcome to our news in brief. Agriculture Minister Michael Katambo says the country has sufficient maize stocks to last up to July 2020. The Zambia Cooperative Federation ZCF has urged government to ensure that Zambians take the lead in the cultivation of marijuana for commercial purposes. And over 26 children have been retrieved from tobacco farms in Kayama and Kaoma districts in Western Province, where they were working as child laborers. And now the news in detail. Agriculture Minister Michael Katambo says that the country has sufficient stocks of maize to last up to July 2020. Mr. Katambo states that if smuggling of maize and mealie meal remains under control, the maize available in the country of 1,037,777.7 metric tons is adequate to see the country through to the next harvest. Speaking at a media briefing, Mr. Katambo adds that some maize is expected to start coming on the market in April 2020 from the early maize project government has facilitated in partnership with the Zambia National Farmers Union. And the minister has projected maize production of 2,004,389 metric tons for the 2019-2020 farming season, representing a 16.3% reduction compared to the previous season.
The survey results and the figures presented by the Stocks Monitoring Committee indicate that the total quantity of maize available in the country stands at 1,037,777.7 metric tons. 1,037,777.7 metric tons. Let me now give you the breakdown of the total maize that we have in the country. The small and medium scale farmers in all provinces are estimated to be in possession of 394,991 metric tons of maize, whilst large scale farmers in the country are estimated to have in reserve 63,863 metric tons. 3,863 metric tons of maize in stock. Further, the millers that are represented by the Millers Association of Zambia have reported to be in possession of 102,329 metric tons. So the millers have 102,329 metric tons of maize. And the grain traders that are represented by the Grain Traders Association of Zambia have 180,346.1 metric tons. So the grain traders have 180,346.1 metric tons of maize in stock, while the stock feed manufacturers have 60,000 metric tons.
Speaking at the same briefing, Millers Association of Zambia President Andrew Chintala has commended government for updating the nation on the food security situation in the country. And Grain Traders Association of Zambia Executive Director Chambuleni Simwinga is hopeful that the update by the minister on the food security situation will help reduce mealie meal prices.
We appreciate, and for the future, let's maintain the or emergency post-harvest survey. That's cardinal for all of us to plan and see the way forward. In short, I'm saying that it's important, and I appreciate what the Ministry of Agriculture has done and Finance through the Statistics Office. It's cardinal that we know the real situation. So no more speculations, and we expect, in principle, to have maize prices dropping, because it's real to say that those that are holding, there's no reason to speculate. Very soon we have some even farmers that have grown early maize that might come in as early as April. So,
Minister, through you, as Millers Association of Zambia, would like to probably clear certain questions that have been asked, I think, in the past few weeks, and also some fears that I think some of the consumers may have with regards to the national food situation in the country. First of all, may I also add my voice to congratulate the Minister of Agriculture with the Zambia Central Statistics Office for the job well done. I think previously, many years ago, Zambia used to do the post-harvest program, but apparently over the years this has not really existed.
The Zambia Cooperative Federation, ZCF, has urged government to ensure that Zambians take the lead in the cultivation of marijuana for export and medicinal purposes. Welcoming the decision by Cabinet to allow the licensed cultivation of cannabis, ZCF Director James Chira says that the move will help bring foreign exchange into the country, hence the need to ensure that Zambian farmers take the lead. Mr. Chira says the value of marijuana is more than that of gold and copper, and therefore with the right measures in place, it will greatly benefit the country and contribute to economic development. He has, however, noted the need for the relevant authorities to thoroughly explain whether the $250,000 license fee will be across board and how much hectarage one will be allowed to cultivate. Mr. Chira, who has acknowledged that there will be cases of abuse of the crop here and there, has however stated that the country cannot be denied the much needed revenue because of fear of abuse.
Even at the moment, as we are talking, there are people who are depending on cannabis for their lives. I mean, they take it as part of their life. And now, when you look at a fraction of those people compared to the millions, 18 million Zambians who are here, I think they are nowhere closer to something that we should worry people. For us, we are supporting it because it's an economic crop, a high-value crop, and the benefits are instant. And the period that it takes to grow cannabis is much shorter. Within a short period of time, someone has got the money that they are looking for from cultivation of cannabis. And there are people who have been growing it privately in this country, but it just remains, or it's done under a black market kind of trade. Now, this is now opening up and say, let's go and legalize this much talked about crop and benefit our citizens. Our concern mostly is that let Zambians take the lead in the growing and cultivation of and export of marijuana. That's the main point. We want Zambians to be the ones who are going to be the majority farmers of marijuana than any other person, for obvious reasons. Money made by Zambian remains in Zambia. Money made by foreigners goes to their respective countries.
The opposition UPND has questioned the government's decision to legalize the cultivation of marijuana for commercial purposes. Party spokesperson Charles Kakoma thinks the decision has been made in bad faith. Mr. Kakoma has told QTV News that it appears whenever the PF government takes a controversial decision, it is always without consultations. He explains that inasmuch as the UPND understands that the legalization of the marijuana may generate revenue for the ailing economy, it also has very bad social consequences. Skeptics have been advised to realize that government means war by legalizing the cultivation of marijuana for exports and medicinal purposes. Charles ZULU, a staunch advocate for the legalization of marijuana cultivation in Zambia, says apart from bringing foreign exchange, the cultivation of marijuana will also bring about job creation. He says that the other advantage is that marijuana, being a cash crop, can be cultivated 6 times in a year. In an interview with QTV News, Mr. ZULU therefore believes that the $250,000 license fee for marijuana cultivation is therefore not much compared to the profit that one would accrue.
It's not something small. We are talking about big time investment, which will bring in millions of dollars, billions of dollars into the country. You can imagine, our economy now is struggling, okay? But we have all these natural resources. We have the water, we have the soil that is very suitable for growth of cannabis. And mind you, cannabis also is cultivated 6 times a year. Every 2 months you'll be cultivating, you'll be exporting very safely. An airplane should come to the facility, land there, load, and off it goes to where they manufacture medicines, to countries like Netherlands, Israel, America. There are so many other countries that have already given it a go. We are not the only country that is given it a go ahead. So for me, those who are against this, I think need to be sensitized more, educated more on what government is trying to do.
Over 26 children have been retrieved from tobacco farms in Kayama and Kauma districts of Western Province, where they were working as child laborers. The children have been retrieved under the JTI Achieving the Reduction of Child Labor Support of Education Arise program, which was launched in 2013 and is being implemented by JTI and Winrock International. The program has from 2013 to 2018 helped 15,400 children get back into school, sensitized 131,227 community members and teachers about child labor, and assisted 7,016 households with improved income. Community Child Labor Committee Chairperson Daniel Mbumai of ZULU village in Kayama district discloses that at the beginning of 2019, the local school only had 6 pupils reported for school, but that through the Arise program, the school had over 32 pupils reporting for school by April 2019. With more in the following report.
Child labor in tobacco farming is rampant and on the increase in poor and underdeveloped countries. Most families are trapped in generational poverty and they have no option but to allow or send their children to work as laborers. 18-year-old Sarah Makuya of Kakanda village in Kayama district dropped out of school last year while doing grade 7 in preference to working in the tobacco field, where she would be paid up to 1,000 kwacha after a full tobacco growing period. Sarah, who is currently living with her grandmother, says she used the money she got paid to buy food for her parents and siblings who are in Mumbwa, as well as use some of it for her education. Unfortunately, in the long run, she had to completely drop out of school to focus on laboring.
Ni time itari bwanji mamansi yangati
kuchoka paje po sanka paje 1 year.
1 year? So ijandrama mkatenga yenzo kutandiza bwanja apart from kulipira school yamene 1 pin vina ngve mwenzo gulira manufishani
Gula mtu mabuku mtu mafuta.
But nzanje china bwacha chitika kuti msi school.
Manje naona hapo ufune nzima ndiwe ufune sopo ndiwe. Nani naona ati sinikwanisa shabe niweke shabe.
Nabo msi school ndivyo vinalengesa vimene hivyo.
Fortunately, through the Arise program spearheaded by JTI, Sarah was reached out to and she quit working as a laborer and continued with school. Heritage Mwinga is a teacher at Kakanda Primary School, which was constructed by JTI to help educate children being retrieved from child labor.
It was very difficult for them to perform good because the time when they are supposed to be in school, they are absent. As a result, their performance was being affected. But we fought hard as a school, together with the Arise, who have given us the list that we should follow so that we can make sure that those who are child labor victims can be brought into the schools.
Daniel Mbumwai is Community Child Labor Committee Chairperson for ZULU village in Kayama, where over 26 children have this year been retrieved from child labor.
Let me just give an example of this year. When we opened schools, we found that especially in grade 8, we had only 6 pupils. The rest were just in the village, either working in the farms or just sitting at home. So we went out in the villages, we sensitized them. By the time we reached April, we had 32 children in the class. We managed to corner some of the children to come back to school. So in most cases, this is the only problem in the village that people hide themselves because of poverty. We say, no, we can't manage this, so we feel the child can help us.
Watson Limbali is Winrock International Liaison Officer, an organization which has combined efforts with Japan Tobacco International and the community in combating child labor.
Like lift technicians, when they are doing their monitoring, child labor is one of the things that they concentrate on also at a farm. So whenever they find a farmer who is using children on the farm, they talked about farmer.
55-year-old Namakao Sikamutumwa, a successful tobacco farmer of Kaoma, says she does not entertain child labor in her farm.
I know that it's not allowed to use underage in the tobacco field, so I look for those who are above 18 years.
It is hoped that through such programs like the Arise, which is spearheaded by JTI and Winrock International, child labor in Zambia will be curbed and all children will be supported to complete their education. Nakaonga reporting for QTV News.
Vice President Sinongewina has directed the Ministries of Fisheries and Livestock, Commerce, Trade and Industry, Foreign Affairs Ministry to work closely with the Zambia National Farmers Union, supermarket, chain stores and other importers to develop a phased import substitution program that will grow the beef industry in the country. Mrs. Wina has directed that the first import substitution program be developed by the end of January 2020 in order to promote growth not only the local meat industry but the economy as a whole. She says a joint plan of action will be tabled in our cabinet for consideration as a matter of urgency, adding that the plan should work for the Zambian people without losing the global and regional tenets of fair trade. The Vice President is confident that embarking on such a program will result in less demand for the dollar, which in turn will strengthen the local currency, the kwacha. She however states that on the local front, concerted efforts must be made to continue building capacity among local farmers and processors to meet the quality and volumes demanded by chain stores, while on the other hand, chain stores must adhere to their commitment to support and grow the local economy as part of their investment pledges. Meanwhile, Mrs. Wina has expressed concern at a report of the impending export of wheat and wheat products, which has potential to increase prices of products such as wheat flour, bread, and other bakery products, as well as wheat bran, which the livestock subsector depends on to support growth of the livestock industry. In a statement issued by Permanent Secretary in charge of administration in the office of the Vice President, Stephen Mwansam, Mrs. Wina says the government will take all necessary measures to ensure price stability and access to affordable products in the short, medium, and long term. Minister in the Office of the Vice President, Oli Papiri, says marketeers were trading from the shelter that collapsed at the Lusaka City Market last week following a rainstorm have been relocated within the market. Ms. Piri, however, says minibuses have been allowed to continue to operate from the open space. She has told Parliament that government has put in place measures to ensure safety for the bus operators, commuters and marketeers operating around the same area. Ms. Piri says the Defence Forces, DMMU, Ministry of Local Government are on site to ensure safety as well as undertaking assessment of the cost of the damage as well as restoring the collapsed structure. The minister was responding to a question by Monza Central Member of Parliament, Jack Mwimbo, who wanted to know what urgent measures the government is taking to assist marketeers with alternative trading space following the collapse of structures at Lusaka City Market on 12th December 2019.
Announcements were made to the people of Zambia through the President of the Republic of Zambia, our Honor the Vice President, and other senior government leaders. And the assurance was that they had already sourced the money and the drawings were ready and construction will start. The question that begs unanswered is, what has happened to those assurances you made to the nation and to this House pertaining to the construction of the gutted city market?
In vain, Mr. Speaker, the duration for the reconstruction of the market is not yet determined, as the ministry is still engaging possible finances for the reconstruction. The House may wish to know that the money that was mobilized for the reconstruction was not efficient and therefore was channeled towards the construction of Salmon Market, which is at 89%. is at 99% completion point. The construction is a joint effort by DMNU, Zambia Army, and the Zambia National Service. In addition, drawings and technical designs for the construction of the Lusaka City Market has already been agreed by the key stakeholders and are waiting the release of funds from the National Treasury. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
In education news, her Education Minister, Brian Mushimba, says his ministry will next introduce an online application for bursaries and student loans at public higher learning institutions to address the mistrust that surrounds the awarding of bursaries and student loans. He says it has been brought to his attention that bursaries and student loans at public learning institutions are not being awarded to deserving students. In an interview with QTV News, Dr. Mshimba, however, feels the truth of the matter is that there are just too many well-deserving students against limited resources for bursaries and student loans. He states that notwithstanding this fact, government is going ahead to launch the online portal for application of bursaries and student loans. Dr. Mshimba says the portal will have an algorithm and will award bursaries and student loans based on a criterion that has been approved.
Points. So there are just that many more students now that are getting excellent results, and when we pick, there are some that are being left because we just don't have enough money to absorb all of them. And moving forward to address this mistrust from the people, we are launching an online tool that's going to accept all applications online. It's going to use an algorithm and award scholarships based on the criteria that has been approved, so that there is no human intervention, very minimal, if at all, human intervention. That way, the feelings that human beings have, computers don't have. They'll just look at the criteria, they look at the qualifications, and awards will be issued. We start that next year, and I'm sure that mistrust then will be taken care of.
Vice President Inongewina has tasked members of parliament, especially in areas affected by the hunger situation, to help assess the hunger situation as parliament adjourns. Mrs. Wina says there is need for parliamentarians to advise the government on what measures can be taken to address the hunger situation in the country. She says that there are some areas where government and its cooperating partners cannot reach. Thus, parliamentarians should help in this regard so that relief food can be sent to these areas. Mrs. Wina has since encouraged members of parliament to go back to their constituencies as opposed to wandering around Lusaka. The Vice President said this when she moved a motion for the House to sit at exactly 9 hours on Wednesday, 18th December 2019, until all business on the order paper for that day is completed, and on such completion, the House adjourn Sindai.
On the issue of the CTF, Mr. Speaker, even if we sit here for another 2 months, yes, I will not guarantee that the CTF will be included because the Minister of Finance is still going through the budget processes, and if money is available at the end of this exercise, perhaps we will see the CTF funds released. And Mr. Speaker, I do not think the rights of the House is related to the release of CDF. It's very important for the members of parliament, particularly those who come from areas where there has been prevalence of our people affected by hunger, should go back to the constituencies to visit their people, to assess on the grounds how the food distribution is being done.
But leader of the opposition, Jack Mwimbu, opposed the motion demanding that government tells parliamentarians who have not yet received their constituency development fund why it has not fulfilled its promise.
As far as what will happen, Mr. Speaker, the drug barons will be the ones in charge in this country, growing the cannabis. We want to be told. Our people will be waiting. Further, Mr. Speaker, our people right now in the areas where there is hunger. Western, southern, parts of Eastern Province, Lusaka and parts of Central Province, the hunger situation is getting worse. The other day, there were reports in Sinazongwe where some members of a family died out of hunger. The people are expecting us to hear what measures the government is taking to ensure that the hunger situations are alleviated. But there's nothing that is being done. We are just being told, oh no, tomorrow you should all go to the constituencies. We want to go. We are tired. But we cannot go, Mr. Speaker, without certain assurances being done by the executive. We need answers. For us, we are requesting the government to extend for a day so that those answers must be given. If they are not ready to give us the answers today or tomorrow, Thursday, let them come with all the statements and assurances, and then we'll go very delightedly to our constituencies to go and explain the disposable bill number 10. That's what we want to do. But for now, without these assurances, Mr. Speaker, we are not ready. Not because we want to stay here, but we want the answers from government on the issues we are raising.
The Water Resources Management Authority, WAMA, has extended the borehole registration exercise deadline for existing boreholes from 31st December 2019 to 31st January 2020. WAMA Public Relations Officer Joshua Kapila says the deadline extension has been necessitated to provide the general public with ample time to register their existing boreholes due to festivities that most Zambians will be engaged in during the current festive season. Mr. Kapila says the authority is therefore calling on all existing unregistered borehole owners to take advantage of the extension by prioritizing the registration of their boreholes with WAMA to avoid penalties that accompany having an unregistered borehole, as stated in the statutory instrument 20 of 2018.
The postponement was necessitated due to the fact that most of the Zambian public is currently involved in different kinds of activities during this festive season, and the authority thought that it would be wise for us to give the public ample time to come and register their unregistered boreholes. To this effect, the authority is appealing to the general public and of course the stakeholders to come and register their unregistered boreholes and avoid the penalties that comes with having an unregistered borehole according to the statutory instrument number 20 of 2018. At the same time, the authority would like to appeal to the general public and also announce to them that the authority will be now moving its headquarters offices, which is located currently along Addis Ababa Drive, to its new place called the WAMA House along the Alikinkata Road, opposite the Alliance Francaise, in the Long Acres area. So you're all encouraged to come and visit the new offices by the 31st of December. The authority will be moving there. And to this effect, we are also encouraging the public to be in touch with the authority for any queries concerning any of the announcements that have been made today. The postponement was...
Finally, in our news, the Ministry of Health has handed over a GenExpert machine used to detect TB worth $17,000 to Coptic Mission Hospital in Lusaka. Speaking when he handed over the machine, Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Kennedy Malama says that the machine will increase the probability of detecting TB at the hospital. Dr. Malama has further noted the need to invest in high technology machines in order to enhance provision of health care services.
This hospital is unique. This hospital is a faith-based hospital and is taking care of the most vulnerable in society, apart from those who can afford to pay. And as government, we were touched when we got the information that Coptic Hospital is actually providing services to the townships within Lusaka which are linked to this hospital. We've also been told that the hospital has opened some health facilities within the catchment of Lusaka districts where our people, particularly the most vulnerable, are being attended to, and those who require further treatment are referred to Coptic Hospital. This is in line with the government pronouncement and insistence that we should not leave any of our people behind in our quest to provide healthcare services. The Gene Expert machine we are donating today is worth $17,000 US, and we are proud to do so.
And speaking when he received the machine, a Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt overseer of Africa for the mission, Bishop Paul Joachim, has noted the need to offer high-level health services at an affordable price. Bishop Joachim says the mission has put up health services in areas such as Misis and Kanyama in order to help provide quality health services to the people. He adds that people have the right to quality healthcare services without having financial challenges to access it.
The heart of Jesus was how to give. And I believe as we are the mission hospital, we should have the same heart to give. But also when I see my brother, His Excellency, the Permanent Secretary is giving and the government is giving, I feel that is the government of Jesus. Let us give them a hand. Yes. When they have this heart, they honor the name of the Lord. And also, all the time we learn in our theological school, in our study, that Jesus fought the people. And we see you are for the people. And we should be also for the people. And we give us this precious machine like that. We feel the commitment. We should have the same heart of the beautiful government. We are so much grateful to the Honorable President Honorable Longo. Should give a big hand. Always giving us the heart.
On that note, we end the news. Thank you for your time. Until next time, keep watching, and it's bye-bye for now.